Okay, so we are with Carl Dowden. How old are you?
Be 90 the 12th day of June.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know you was that much older than me.
And
Well, I'm about
Jill?
2 years over you,
I
wasn't
was 85 in August.
Huh?
I'm 88.
And
I'm
I.
89, so I'm just a year older.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Well,
it. You're
yeah.
not that much older.
So, Carl, what I want to do is talk to you about, you and Jewel, about the history of you all and the area, your neighbors, your friends, anything you want to talk about. But I like to start kind of back at the beginning. And so I'm going to ask you about your childhood and stuff.
Don't.
And then we'll talk about Jewel's childhood, and then we'll
Okay.
start at y'all's.
Carl, don't forget Arthur Brock.
Okay, so Carl, I want you to start off with talking about your childhood and your earliest memories.
Oh, you wouldn't believe me if I told you that. My earliest memories is when I was 2 years old. I remember feeding the chickens. I had a picture of it. I think that's why I thought I remembered it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, then my grandmother, I got short can remember her. I was born 27
And
She
Carl,
died- and she
you'll need
died
to try to
31.
you'll need to try to talk maybe a little louder.
Okay.
And with your accent a little louder, and try to talk a little plainer, or it may not
Okay.
pick up good.
Okay.
Can you put it closer to him?
No, I can
It'll
talk
make
a
any
little louder. Yeah. Well, that's so when I was about 4, I remember my grandmother dying, and I can remember that part. And so I can remember a few things, something kind of exciting, you'll remember that.
And what was your grandmother's name?
Let's see, it's
This was
Well-
your dad or your mother's?
I
parents?
always my dad, that one. Now hers was Liza Jane, this is Liza Jane. That's what's kind of confusing, but her name was Liza Jane.
Going on.
And so I can remember that, and I'll tell you something I remember about bad years. We had a lot of dry years, and your grandpa Finus, he had a threshing machine, and he threshed wheat, and this was 1936, and dry wheat is all the thing it was, and he had a steam engine, a spark from that,
Yeah.
set it fire and burned up his steam engine and burned wheat. I remember something like that. That's even, and then in '36, I can remember the cows bawling everywhere. It was a dry year, dry 34 and 36, and
So they were all bawling because
Yeah,
there
they
was
just
no
had
food.
nothing to eat, and we'd cut down trees, and they'd come around and eat the leaves off the trees. That's how bad. And then we had, I got to wondering, when I got older, there's a spring up way up hidden spring, in the woods. Well, I got to wonder what and found it, and it always beautiful all around there. And I went and had Leo, he always dug springs. He dug it all out and put a cement tank in there. Connie didn't like that very good. She thought it was beautiful, had pictures of that.
Uh-huh. And so you went to school at Cheerful Hill?
Yeah, but there's a little difference in the way they handle things now and then. And, it'd come 2 foot of snow, and they wouldn't turn out of school and walk
No.
home, and
No.
snow would cut all down
They
their
never,
shoes.
they never did close school.
And then
And so
I
if you had a lot of snow, where did you live at?
right here. So
Right here in
born
this
right
house?
Here, and I lived-
He's always lived here, Pat.
Okay,
Yeah.
so when they had school, even if it was 2 foot of snow or whatever,
Yeah, and
school
they
was
didn't
never
have-
canceled.
No, and didn't have overshoes or insulated boots, but wrapped toe sacks around their legs and tied them by twice string. And went.
And you had to walk up that big hill.
Oh yeah, see, that's why I can still walk. I use my legs a lot. When you don't use them, they go bad.
Yeah, the Todds had to walk up that
Yeah,
hill.
they
too.
did.
And how many kids do you think was attending school there?
Oh,
when
there's a
you
lot. I think about 60, but that teacher, she handled a lot more. That's back then. These good teachers, and they didn't have to have 12 of them to handle 10 kids.
Well, somebody told me that you were called Fuzzy in grade school?
Yeah, well, why? That was my nickname. All of us had a nickname. I'll tell you
We
why.
used to call
I'll
him
tell you why
Bussy.
that come up.
I never did.
I had a
but the
dog.
other kids did.
And it's Airedale. And you talk to it, it grin, you know.
You had, I'm sorry.
I had a dog, and his name was Fuzzy. So
Yeah.
that was my nickname. They all had nicknames. Everybody did.
So you had a dog named Fuzzy?
Yes.
And so
he'll
they just
grin
called
when
you
you
Fuzzy?
talk to it. Yeah, you talk to it while you grin.
Your dog would?
Huh?
Your dog would grin?
Yes, it would.
Uh-huh. And so when you went to school at Cheerful Hill, who were your best friends?
Oh, one was Bill Cole. She's smart. She'd help me with the lessons.
Oh,
went
did
back
she?
in
She helped
college.
you study?
Yeah, of course. She did.
Were you all in the same grade?
No, I believe it. I was a grade head.
Head.
Yeah.
We had a
That's
head.
why I thought they was about 1 or 2 years difference in age.
Yeah. And so who were your teachers?
Well, first, Tom Tate was a teacher for a long time, and then Billy Wilson. She lived over here in sight where Merlin lives. That's where they lived at. And I don't know, I kind of jump around and tell about different things.
That's
but
fine.
Anyway, I know my dad never did drive a car, but he bought a new Ford car in 1928 when I was a year old. The reason I mention that, it cost $500.
And who
Well,
was
and
this that bought it?
My dad
Okay.
never did drive, but he bought that. Anyway, then in 1940, Billy Wilson bought a new Ford, and Earl Austin, they bought a new Chevrolet, $825. So I wasn't much in that many years. You know how they do, about double every year.
What year did Grandpa buy the Ford?
1928,
Who drove it?
oh, the boys. I didn't drive about once, I was too young.
What were your favorite classes in school?
Recess.
And so
Uh,
what were your favorite games at recess?
Oh, I don't know. We couldn't play very long when it's run tag. I tell you one, I made the teacher awful mad at me. John Douglas, I believe, but I was running. I could run fast. And he was playing tag, you know. He just loping the road. So I speeded up, and jumped, got him to the gallows. Said, "Boy, he's mad at me. He thought he's outrunning me."
Okay, I did not understand what you said.
Oh well, we was playing tag. You know, you
yeah.
catch him and tag him. So he was just kind of going along slow, and he thought
Now
I
this
couldn't
was
run
the
any faster.
teacher?
I speeded up and got him the galluses.
Got him.
You had to sit a belt. You got galluses like this.
Uh-huh.
You grab.
Like
you grab-
suspenders?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was what it was. Suspenders. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And who was this that you,
I believe it's John Douglas. Now
and that
he
was
married,
the teacher?
Huh?
That
As
was the
teacher,
teacher.
yeah. And he married George Baines's daughter.
And he got mad because you grabbed him
Well,
by
yeah,
the
yeah,
suspenders?
because they, you know, I just tried to trick him because I was a fast runner.
Mm-hmm.
And then I like to play just softball. We played that a lot.
Mom said that you all did play that a lot.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So what kind of lunch did you take to school?
Oh, it was really tasted good. I'd get hungry. So anyway, we'd butcher hogs ourselves, you know, and hang them up and smoke them. And so I'd just take that biscuits and that bacon, that cold bacon tastes really good. I mean, sometimes we'd take something and kind of